So I probably should have started videoing right from the unboxing, but I didn't. And so, let's see, the first thing I did was crank on the old truss rod. This thing literally had a 1/16 of an inch of relief. I just turned it again. I haven't checked it yet, but last time I checked I was at about 16 thousandths snug at the 9th fret. So we'll get that down. I did the rocker over it real quick and the frets are all over the place. So we'll have to level those all out and recrown them. No audio output. I just pulled this out to check the connections here. Look alright. Plug goes in. Looks like it has good connection all the way around when that is in. So we'll pop that back in there and yank that pick guard off and see how that goes. Got the old peg nose over here for the audio test. And I was wondering why the strobo tuner wouldn't tune it. This thing was just picking up the vibration. I didn't realize that. I had it plugged in thinking it was working. And just plugged it into the pig nose, not a sound. It was listed as very low audio. And one of the videos I had seen on it said that these guitars had low audio. So I was figuring on maybe having to replace those. But we'll sneak this pick guard out of here and lift that up and give those a measure and see if I can figure out what they got in there for windings. And see if we just have a wire off or a circuit grounded somewhere that out and B that's killing the signal, and get it fixed up. So I'll put the 2 screws back in there for now. It's all going to come apart and get cleaned and polished. It's got a couple of good dings right there, and a little bit right here, a little bit over here. You can feel it on the inside of this. It's not bad. The back of it's actually pretty damn nice. Oh, there goes my screw. One of them. Okay, the other one's stuck on the pickup. But it's, yeah, $29.99 at the auction. So, and I mean, I actually have the neck probably good enough to play right now, but, you know, as far as flatness goes, like I said, I gotta adjust the frets on it. So let's pop that back on and pull the pick guard off and see what it looks like in there. Yeah, so I jumped ahead. Stripped the pick guard. It's you can see that it faded out quite a bit. Probably a smoker's house or a wood stove. Same thing if you look at the knobs. Kind of much more white on the inside, yellow on the outside. Pickups, same thing. You can see the height they were set at, striped. So, I'm about to do the old Howard's feed wax there. Orange oil. Treat the neck. Got the neck now flat to within 5 thousandths, which is pretty good, you know. A couple of 1.5 hairs, maybe it'll lay out a little more with the string tension off, and it'll be perfect if I can get it to 0, and then I'll tap any loose frets down, see if we can get it to stop rocking just by tapping, or what we gotta do, and then we'll flat sand it all and then recrown them. Clean this all up. You can just see years of, I don't know what, cigarette smoke, I'm gonna guess, you know. But this turned a nice gold. That could just be sunlight. You can see it a lot right there. What was under the pick guard was much lighter before, so could be lacquer. That'd be nice. That means I could just touch that right up, or I could do inlay work and just clear it right in, and you'd never know. We'll see. But right now we're gonna feed and wax the old neck, give it a little juice, bring it back to life, make it happy, and then it also keeps the tape from over sticking to the actual fretboard, or from pulling these out, because you got a little film for that orange oil on there still. But alright, away we go. Okay, stripped off the tremolo tailpiece and the tuning heads. You're all in the little bucket. Got a good coat of Howard's on the neck. You can see I got definite sharp edges on my frets showing. You can feel them. And I did the rocker and they're all over the place too. So we'll be doing a full fret crowning and flattening and all that good stuff on here, but just look at the gunk on that thing. I did a little bit right there when I cleaned it up, but the string trees were still there in the pegs. So I'll go in there and clean that up now with the Howards and a rag. Same thing around where the bridge tailpiece was. And little by little we'll get it cleaned up. I think I'll be probably sanding this whole finish right off. We'll see. We'll see what it does. A little on the deep side right there, right through the finish. A couple of dentos there. So, good project. Okay, back of it got a coat of the old Howard's feed wax. Looks all hazy, but that citrus acid in there, the orange oil, will get any gunk and break down crap like nicotine from cigarette smokers or people with gummy hands after drinking soda or eating candy or whatever. But looking at the difference in the wood, I really am tempted just to strip it all right down and refinish it. We'll see what Frankie wants to do if he's in a hurry to play. It's not really bad. You know, there's a good one right there. A couple of minors here and there. You can see them in the light. Overall, not terrible. A little beat up though. Definitely not brand new, that's for sure. Cleaning up the hardware. A little rubbing alcohol and rain dents. Rubbing it all out. I'll grease up all those tuning keys before I put them back together and stick them on there. And it'll make it pretty anyways. Okay, time for a little gunk super oil for my tuners. I'll throw a drop right in the tops of them and let it run down onto the worm gear. I like the stuff that's kind of thin, like the old sewing machine oil we used to have back in the 60s and 70s. And so it'll get in there without making too much of a mess. And then I'll put all my washers and caps on there. I got my tailpiece back together now. A little polish on that. So cleaning it up little by little and get this lubed, and then I just got to clean up some pickguard screws, and then we'll look at cleaning the pickguard itself and the knobs. They are yellow. Okay, cleaned up hardware. We got all our tuners, jack plate, the string trees. We got our 6 screws for the bridge, a tailpiece I guess, bridge combo. Our strap buttons and the 2 screws for the spring plate mount inside and the back. And each of those got a drop of oil from the old gunk super oil. So the tuner should be nice and smooth. Springs. Bunch of pickguard screws to clean now. And the 6 screws for the back of the tuners. Okay, out on the front porch now. I'm going to hit the body with some Meguiar's with the old Black & Decker palm polisher. And shine up that body. Alright, so ran the old Meguiar's polish over it with the Black & Decker. And I mean, yeah, the dings are in it, but it still looks pretty damn good. Headstock cleaned up real nice. I'll put another dose of oil on the fretboard before I tape it all off for the fret job. But, yeah, not bad. I'm going to throw some wax on it now. And we'll do the same thing. I'll change pads and we'll wax that, buff it right out. I got McGuire's, I think it's number 26 paste wax, but we'll get that going next. And we'll try and get this thing back together and playing. I gotta still deal with the electronics, measure all those pickups and see what they are and see if they're worth keeping or if it's worthy of buying a set of Wilkinsons or something like that for it. But we'll see. Yep, so McGuire's mirror glaze. I don't even know if this stuff's still available. Looking at the can, it's pretty old. I don't know how long ago I got it, but I like McGuire's stuff and I use it. It works good. So we'll put a layer of that on there and change the pads. Alright, mirror glaze applied, buffed and wiped. And it looks pretty damn good. I mean, it's still got its scars. But for $29.99 you can't buy a kid's guitar for that, you know. And so this would be a good learning tool for my brother to play with, and it doesn't matter if he bangs it around or drops it or anything. And if he likes it, I can strip all that finish off and either just sand that smooth or do an inlay, and we can make it pretty. Right now the goal is to get it together with a nice flat neck, give it a good fret job, fret level. I think I have to raise the E string, low E string at the nut with a little baking soda and crazy glue. We'll see how that looks after the fret job. If that's still low and buzzy, then we'll do that trick and get the electronics straightened out. It should be good to go. Looks pretty though, for sure. You know, for a $30 buy, you can't beat that. So back indoors, the rain clouds are coming in fast. I'm done with the power tools. It's looking pretty darn nice. So these are the worst chips in it right here. I don't know what it banged up against. But I'm not really going to worry about that now. We're going to make this a playable unit. And it's looking pretty good. I'll take a break here and have another coffee, and then I'll put some hardware back on, get all those tuning pegs back on there and my string trees, and then we'll get the tailpiece back in. I gotta run a tap through the tremolo arm threads and see what that is so I can order up the right tremolo for it. I'm pretty sure this is a made in Japan guitar, although it doesn't say it anywhere. It's just a flat plate on the back where the neck bolts go through. No made in Japan, no name, no nothing. $29.99 eBay. Some elbow grease, it'll be well worth it. I'm taking, throw those in some soapy water and get that plastic cleaned up now too before I sit down for my coffee. And let that soak. And then we'll obviously got to take all this stuff out of here and shield the cavity. They didn't even paint it, nothing. You know, so I'll grab my magic foil tape, stick that all down in there and get a nice ground shield all the way around. So, especially important on Stratocasters. I mean, you know, humbuckers are designed to beat the hum by being wound in opposite directions, but 3 single coils, you gotta have it shielded, no doubt about it. I mean, you should with humbuckers too, but absolutely have to with this. So, we'll get that going, get those things soaking, put some chrome back on it, and see how it looks. But I'm definitely happy, you know, just to get a full-size Strat, body and neck for 30 bucks. Is well worth it. You know, and it needs a fret job, but they're not terrible. Definitely worth the money. Okay, pick guard and rear cover soaking in Dawn in what was hot water. Cooled off by now. And over here I got the knobs tone and volume and the switch tip. So we'll see if we can get them to look somewhat white again. Huh? Gonna go in the other room. Okay. Miserable out, we're back inside. I'm gonna put the tuners back on there and the tailpiece and bridge, and maybe I'll grab my soldering iron and just desolder this and pull everything right out, and then I can insulate that pocket up, no problem. I'll do this cavity in here too. But yeah, we'll start putting some shiny pieces back on for now. Alright, time to start shielding the cavity. Got the old Nashua tape here. I guess this is like dry event tape. It's just real thin aluminum. But this is completely unshielded. So we'll shield that up. I just tested the switch. Everything looks okay. Each of the pickups is showing resistance. I think 9.11, 9.12 on the neck and the bridge, and 8 on the middle position. But they're all there, so we'll see. I don't know. I wasn't getting anything out of it earlier, yesterday when I was playing with it, but let's get this cavity done and we'll go from there. Alright, cavities are all shielded now. Here. I didn't do the back. I probably should, just because, well, no, the bridge is grounded. Yeah, it's got the ground wire going right to it, so no need to shield anything there. But that whole cavity is all set now. Tape. I checked the continuity of this stuff when you overlap it. When I did the 12-string picker, no problem. So definitely the cheap way out, and I'm on a no budget, so I gotta work with what I got on hand. So I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll get my socket set out, tighten these up. All these gotta be tightened. And then we'll go over this with the straight edge again. See where it's at now. Last time I checked it was 4 o'clock this morning, was 5 thousandths. I did move it quite a bit from where it was, and we'll see if it's moved anymore. It'd be great if I could get it to 0, and then I can flat grind all these and recrown them. Alright, I gotta take a break. My shoulders are killing me. Alright, looking like a guitar again. Shielding all done. Chrome sort of cleaned. Pick guard soaked for a long time, but it didn't make much difference. Looks like it's been nicotined. Either that or they had a wood stove at that place. But it didn't do much for the knobs either, soaking. They're still the same color. So, whatever. That's easily replaceable. Easily replaceable stuff, cheap. Now it's all over the place. But I gotta find a whammy bar for it. Top end all tightened up. All in there. Looking 100% better. Next thing to tackle now is this neck. I'll show the straight edge on there again. See where it's at now. It'd be nice to get it to the point where I get the back off of that truss rod. And have it be dead flat so I can do it up and then put a little relief in it when I'm done. But yeah, looks pretty damn good. You know, when you think of the price, I mean, even with the shipping, less than $100. I mean, it would be worth it just for the body and a decent neck for that. I know I said I was going to take a break, but I didn't. I ended up taping up the fretboard and marking it all up with the red dry erase. Now I'll go sit down for a few minutes, and my shoulder is killing me. But we'll let that dry, and then we'll go over that with the sanding beam. Get rid of the high spots. Check it with a rocker. Get it set up nice. Hopefully it'll play. Alright, and the frets are leveled. I reapplied my red. We'll start crowning them now. Got one right here. It's a tiny bit low. Not bad though. I think it's going to be okay, but I don't want to grind everything down to nothing to get that one, you know. It's pretty good. Okay. Frets crowned and polished and leveled. Got one. Might be a tiny bit high still on there. I'm not going to chase it. It's not too bad. We'll see if it buzzes. If it does, I'll go after it, but I think it's going to be okay. Alright, time to pull the tape off and give another dose of oil to the fretboard, and then we'll string it up. So still no audio coming out of it, but it's strung up. Somewhat intonated, not great because I can't plug the strobo tuner in and get anything out of it. So, not terrible. Still needs a little bit of TLC. But we'll get it. I gotta get the electrics going. I'll try pulling that cap out. Maybe it's a bad cap. Everything else looks okay. I want to see. Isolate everything one at a time. Caps and pots. It's 12:30. So, almost time to flush Mom's line. But the frets look beautiful. So, still a little bridge work to go. Once I get the sound going and can get the strobo tuner on there, we'll get a real nice intonation. Pardon my gaseousness. But it looks pretty good. $29.99. Too bad they killed me on the shipping. So a little testing with the meter. Shows no continuity between the wiper and the switch side of the volume pot. So we got switch side and then output to jack. Nothing going there. So these are 250s, but I have a 500K from my 12-string project. I'm going to toss that right in there. It's volume. It shouldn't make any difference. It just make it a smoother run up, actually, I would imagine. So we'll desolder all that and put it back together and see how it goes with a 500. I'm hoping that's all it is. By the looks of the glob they got on there, there's probably a good chance they overheated it when they put it together. So we'll put in the 500K new one and see how that goes. 500K pot soldered in. Read's okay on there now. I was getting no reading off the other thing. So now we'll button this all back up. Give it a whirl again. Hopefully we get output now. Alright, so it lives. And it's pretty close in intonation. I would have liked to have pulled the A back, but I'm at spring bind already. And coming up on pinching the string where it goes through there with that screw. So, I don't know. It needs to be a little shorter maybe. Playing through the Digitech. Got this morning. Totally locked up. I had read how to do a factory reset, so I hit the tempo button and rhythm button and plugged it in, did a reset. And there it is. It's good. A lot of variation in the volume on the different stuff. Crunch is pretty cool. A little bit of reverb on there. EQ and amp. That's So I'll have to do some reading on how to program this thing all up to use it the way I want to, but expression pedal, volume pedal, whatever you want to call it, worship. Another $29.99. Gotta love it. And so this was $29.99, and it turned out that it had a bad pot. So I didn't have any 250s, so I put a 500 in. So it drops down pretty quick. But it works. I can always get a 250 and put it in there now that I know what it was. Guitar's A-OK, got it all tuned up. Frets all done. I'm liking it. Frankie loves it. So we're not going to do anything fancy to it. You know, the dings are going to stay in it. He just wants to play it, learn to play. And he don't care how it looks. He just said, look at my truck, look at my motorcycle. I just use them. I don't clean them. I don't care. He goes, as long as it plays. And it's not bad. And I hit it with the old strobo tuner. You know, like I said, I would have liked to have pulled that saddle back just a little bit more, but it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. So, not bad. $29.99 for the guitar, and $29.99 for the Digitech RP2000. So that's an actual floor effects thing I can use instead of that little tabletop one, which was great for practice and headphones, but this is actually practical. Pretty cool. I love when I get good deals.